What's up, guys? We're back with another Marvel Legends review, taking a look at the most recent Deluxe release, and this is one that I've really been looking forward to. I know some folks have had this for a little bit, gotten it from overseas. I think Canada's already had it for a while, but I waited until it was actually out here, and we're taking a look at the Thanos figure, the actual classic comic Infinity Gauntlet era Thanos. This is the Thanos I think of when I think of the character. So I've really been looking forward to this. That Walmart exclusive from years back sort of worked for a while, but having this guy in hand I think is going to change things quite a bit. So we've got him here in our standard but oversized deluxe style packaging. So it's still that sort of familiar Marvel Legends style of box. Big window for the figure. You've got the Infinity Gauntlet logo down there on the bottom. Some comic artwork of Thanos wielding the gems on the side panels. And then the back of the box has got a big spread of artwork with Death and Thanos, and then a tiny little write-up of our Mad Titans. So yeah, let's do it. Let's pull them out and take a look. And here we go, out of the package, our Deluxe Thanos. Right now, this is probably my favorite Marvel Legends of the year so far. Obviously, there hasn't been a ton so far this year, but there is a lot of good stuff going on here. So let's see what he can do, see how he moves around. He is very familiar territory in many respects, but at the same time, he's fully pinless, so that changes things up a bit aesthetically. But he isn't the most agile, but he's not terribly locked down either. I think it's exactly what we need this version of Thanos to be, really. So we've got a head that can look up pretty far. He can look down only a little bit because of the collar. It does kind of get in the way. You do have some really good tilt, though. And then we've got full rotation, of course. Arms go out at the shoulders, and then they will rotate. You do have to worry about the collar thing, but it doesn't really get in the way. It doesn't stop him. You do have a bicep swivel. We've got single-jointed pinless elbows. These things have, unfortunately, almost no range. This is like the one area where he is definitely locked down. They do rotate as well. So you've got bicep swivel and you've got elbow swivel, but they don't really do much. They pretty much only go about that far. I mean, that's what, maybe, I don't know, 75 degrees. They are very, very limited just in general construction. They do move well, but they are limited. They're pinless though, so it does look nice. We've got our hinges and rotation at the wrist. He does have an ab crunch. He goes backwards a little bit, but not too far. He goes forwards one click, basically. And then you've got your waist twist. Legs go out about this far. He's a big chunky boy, so it's not unexpected there. They kick forward only about that far. They kick backwards a little bit. You do have your thigh cut. He's got double jointed knees, but just like the elbows, they are relatively limited. But these do move a little bit more just because they are double. They are pinless as well, which is really nice. There is no boot cut down here, despite the fact that it looks like there is no boot cut there. And then you've got rocker and you've got hinges down at those ankles. So he is decently articulated. He's not overly agile by any means, but at the same time, for this big chunky version of Thanos, I'm really not hung up on what limitations he does have. And I say I'm not hung up on the limitations he has because he can do what he needs to do for this style of figure. But he looks, I mean, he just looks amazing. This is a really nice looking figure, and I say it a lot, and you're probably tired of hearing it. The looks are so important to me, even when the figure does have limitations. It just helps bring things back around. Because this is the version of Thanos that I've wanted. It's the version that I care about the most, if you can really care about Thanos. It's the version that I wish we had gotten years ago when we got originally that Build-A-Figure, and then when we got the Walmart exclusive. I really don't care about the MCU version of Thanos, at least aesthetically. This is Thanos to me. A more classic version, a more 90s Infinity Gauntlet style version. I mean, it's what I grew up with, it's what I read. So this thing just hits all the high points to me. The collar in particular, I love it because it doesn't pop around and move all over the place like that other one does. The gold for the little accents on the chest, incredibly metallic, really bright and vibrant. And one thing that is really doing it for me is the fact that this figure is covered in shading, which is really rare for Legends. There is a lot of light blue, dark blue contrast on this figure, which absolutely makes every bit of the musculature pop. It's even on the back of the figure, like on the triceps here, you can see some light blue there. It's really evident on the thighs and then around the pec area and then on the biceps. It's out of the ordinary to see this on Legends, and when I got him out of the package, I was really taken aback by just how much the musculature on this body pops, and it makes him look so much more imposing and strong. I really do, as usual, like the pearlescent metallic style plastic they use. So you've got, Thanos with his 2 gauntlets. This is out of the box. This is pre-gems, Infinity Gauntlet style Thanos. So he doesn't have the gems in there yet. And he looks really good, really imposing, really beefy. Sculpt is fantastic. Again, I love the fact that we are getting this pinless stuff, especially on such a large figure. It's not too weird to see it on a single jointed elbow, but it looks really good. The musculature, the sculpt is really nicely done, but seeing it on the legs is a really nice change. And of course, it's not the biggest thing when it comes to range of motion, but aesthetically speaking, this looks so much cleaner than having a pin going through the calf and then going through the thigh. So I'm really happy with the way this guy turned out. He is a night and day difference when it comes to comparing him to that other Thanos that we've got, and we'll do that here in a second. But it's all about this version for me. He looks like he jumped right out of the page. A lot of that does have to do with the head sculpt as well. He's got that crazy maniacal Mad Titan grin going. Eyes are really cleanly painted. There is this slight wash to the kind of California raisin style chin that he's got. You've got the open mouth with the teeth really cleanly painted. More of that gold accent that matches the gold paint on the body. And it's just a nice contrast with that blue, gold, and purple. It really stands out. It pops. And it's a nice way to cap off a really beautiful figure. And then here is our comparison. So new Thanos, old Thanos, and this is of course the Walmart exclusive. I never had that Build-A-Figure, but this is the same thing, same Build-A-Figure construction in terms of pieces and everything. I can't really get over just how different this figure is. Obviously there is really nothing shared between these two, but there is an overall kind of shelf presence difference between these two figures. This guy seems puny by comparison with these slightly smaller legs, slightly smaller arms. He's not a small figure by any means, but get him next to the new one, and you can see that this guy has a little bit more heft and bulk, and he just seems to be a little bit more substantial of a figure. I still like this guy. I mean, it's a really cool, more modern take on Thanos in some respects, but this is my guy right here. So I'm really happy that Hasbro went back and gave Thanos his due, and we got a more classic, more childhood version for me, Thanos, when it comes to Marvel Legends. And it's just a marked improvement all around. If you want a true classic-looking Thanos, this is the guy to go to. And then as far as size comparisons, I'm not going to get too crazy on this. We're going to give you a Marvel Legends figure. Silver Surfer obviously is a good option here. So your standard 6-inch style figure next to Thanos. And honestly, this guy is absolutely dwarfed by Thanos. And he does seem a lot bigger when you have something to compare him to. And then we've got I guess maybe a little bit more of an appropriate 7-inch style figure. So our Golden God Skeletor, you can see that they match up pretty well in terms of height and overall bulk in many ways. Thanos is, of course, a beefier guy, so he does get more plastic. But I think that'll give you a good idea of exactly how tall this figure is. So he's, a little bit more than 7 inches. And then just for another Build-A-Figure comparison real quick, let's move those aside. And we've got our Thanos with Apocalypse, because why not? So Apocalypse is still a little bit taller. He is not nearly as bulky, but it gives you an idea of what a slightly larger Build-A-Figure looks like alongside our new Thanos. And then as far as accessories goes, this guy comes with a surprising amount. He doesn't come with a lot, but for a big figure like this that is so unique, he comes with a bunch of stuff. They really went all out on this release. So we do get like the King Thanos head sculpt here, which I have zero history with. I really don't know anything about what's going on with this, so it's likely never going to be used for me. But it is cool. So it does look like a slightly older Thanos. He's got this long beard, and then of course he's got a actual sort of crown on his head when it comes to his helmet rather than just sort of a skull cap. Sculpt is really good. Paint is nicely applied. I really like that beard, but again, I don't have any attachment to it, so it's nothing exciting for me, but it does look cool for folks who are interested in this particular look. And then he comes with a couple hands. So we get a snap hand for his left. So of course this is the actual Infinity Gauntlet with the gems in it, and then you've got the hands sculpted in such a way that the index finger is out in the middle and the thumb are about to snap, which I really like. I mean, there's a good chance this is how I'm going to display my figure, just because it's kind of the look really, but I do like the fact that we finally have that. And then we've got this sort of open palm gripping style left hand with the Infinity Gems in it as well. So you can have him, bashing someone with his fist, grabbing someone with his open hand, or, smashing someone into the ground, or just holding his hand up deviously or whatever you want to do with him. So this looks really good. I mean, we've seen this before, but I do think that the overall kit of accessories with this guy, however small, is a really nice set of accessories. I do wish that we kind of would have been able to get an energy effect of some kind. I'd love to have like one of those kind of classic crackle style effects where just energy is pouring out of his hands, but I can understand why that's probably a little bit too much for this release. So you do get the unique extra head sculpt, and then you get 2 extra hands, which I think rounds out this really big figure quite nicely overall. So yeah, this is a winner. This is probably one of the better deluxe figures that we have gotten in a while, and I know that they've been sort of hitting us pretty hard with these throughout the past year or so. But this guy is a good hallmark for what we should expect to get with these figures, I think. New sculpt, new iterations on characters, well, old iterations that we haven't had in a long time of characters, with solid accessories, with tons of great sculpting, great paintwork. I mean, this is what I want to see when it comes to a quote-unquote deluxe figure, because this guy embodies that idea really, really well. Again, it makes that Walmart exclusive basically meaningless at this point to me. It is the preferred version for Thanos on my shelf by far, and I think Hasbro did an absolute killer job with this one. He may not be the most dynamic or agile figure on your shelf, but he is going to look fantastic among your Cosmic Legends for sure. So that's going to do it for this look at the Marvel Legends Deluxe Thanos. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.